The uptick in violence across the region is one issue that local leaders have on their plate right now, but violence closer to home is another. Today, Allegheny County and the city of Pittsburgh are announcing a new partnership to help address intimate partner violence. And joining us live now via Zoom to talk about it is Nicole Molinaro, President and CEO of the Women's Center and Shelter of Greater Pittsburgh. Nicole, I know it's a busy day for you, so thanks for stopping by to talk with us.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight, Royce.
Absolutely. So, the first question that we have for you is, can you tell us about the origin of the IPV task force?
I would be absolutely happy to do that. The origin of the IPV task force, the reform leadership team is really what we're calling it, is actually a report by the Urban Institute that really involved so many systems players in looking at the current system of criminal justice, of all of the various systems that intimate partner violence survivors and victims experience, and saying, okay, this is how these systems are now, and envisioning how they can be to really better serve survivors and victims of intimate partner violence. And so this report really laid a path towards providing future systems improvement. So that's what we're working on.
Sure. So what are some of those areas of improvement that you think could hopefully be addressed via this task force?
Sure. Well, this morning we had our very first meeting of the reform leadership team, and we really started to talk about some ideas, and at the next meeting we'll be figuring out how to move forward, but they might include, for instance, instituting fatality reviews for intimate partner violence, homicides. It might include coordinating data better for PFAs and throughout the entire system. It might mean different systems coordination issues around high-risk victims. It might mean different community involvement and ways to reach people who are experiencing intimate partner violence but haven't yet reached out to anybody for help. So it might look like any of that, and it might look like all of that. We're really figuring that out, and we're very excited to be working together across all of these various sectors to be able to come up with solutions and implement solutions that reduce barriers to getting help and hope for victims and survivors.
Sure. And speaking of victims and survivors, how big of a problem is intimate partner violence in Allegheny County? What kind of numbers can you share with us?
Unfortunately, Allegheny County mirrors the rest of the country, and that is that 1 out of every 3 women specifically have experienced intimate partner violence. Statistics say that it's between 1 out of every 4 and 1 out of every 12 men. It just depends on what study you look at. And 54% of trans individuals and those who are gender non-conforming or non-binary experience intimate partner violence. So we're talking about an absolutely huge problem here that's really only been made worse by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sure, I was going to say, so we definitely saw a spike of the sort of domestic violence incidents during the pandemic.
Yes, unfortunately, we saw an increase in the severity, the frequency, and the complexity of situations involving intimate partner violence. Again, not only in Allegheny County, but across the country and really across the world. It was called a horrifying spike in domestic violence by the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. And unfortunately, we've seen that time and time again with our clients and with the new folks that we're serving.
Sure. And just real quick, and we just had that number on the screen for resources. Lastly, what resources are available right now for anybody who may need help that's experiencing this sort of violence?
Royce, of course, that's my favorite question. There are 4 domestic violence programs just in Allegheny County, and if you're outside of the Allegheny County area, there's a domestic violence program that serves your area. So what you're showing now is Women's Center and Shelter's 24/7 hotline. And of course, our website, wcscanhelp.org, where you can either reach website information or, of course, you can chat for help from 9 to 9 daily, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. And you're showing our tech support number. Thank you so much for that as well. Wherever you live, though, there is a domestic violence program that serves you, and they are all open 24/7 and all providing services for hope, for help, and for healing. And so we just encourage anybody who is experiencing intimate partner violence to really reach out for help, because you are not alone. We will believe you, we will help you, and we want to be here for you.
Nicole, we're out of time. This is such an important conversation. Thank you so much for stopping by, and best of luck to you with this task force. We'll be watching closely.
Royce, thank you so much.
Thanks.